Little Johnny was sitting in class one day, and the teacher was talking about life and asked him, "Little Johnny, how do you want your wife to be like?" He answered, "Like the moon." And the teacher said, "That's such a beautiful answer because it's calm and peaceful." Little Johnny said, "No, because it appears at night and disappears in the morning." An Englishman and an Irishman walk into a bakery. As they browse the shelves, the Englishman eyes the fresh buns on the counter. In a flash, he swipes 3 buns, tucks them into his pockets, and strolls out of the bakery with a sly grin. Once outside, he nudges the Irishman and says, "Now that's skill. Did you see how I managed to steal those buns without the owner even noticing? That's the art of clever thievery." The Irishman shakes his head and chuckles. "Stealing? That's just dishonesty. Let me show you how to get the same result, but with wit and charm instead." Curious, the Englishman follows the Irishman back into the bakery. The Irishman boldly approaches the owner and says, "Good day, sir. I'd like to show you a magic trick that will amaze you." The owner, intrigued and a little flattered, steps forward. "A magic trick, you say? Go on then. Show me what you've got." The Irishman smiles and says, "All right. For this trick, I'll need 3 of your finest buns." The owner hands him a bun, which the Irishman promptly eats. He then asks for a second bun, devours that one too, and does the same with a third. After finishing, he stands there, smiling contentedly. The bakery owner frowns, crossing his arms. "All right, where's the magic? All I see is you eating my buns." The Irishman grins, points to the Englishman, and says, "Check his pockets." A woman was stepping out of the shower when the doorbell rang. Her husband was getting ready to shower, so she quickly wrapped herself in a towel and answered the door. It was Bob, the neighbor. Without skipping a beat, Bob said, "I'll give you $800 to drop the towel." After a moment of thought, the woman decided $800 was worth it. She dropped the towel, collected the cash, and closed the door. When she returned upstairs, her husband asked, "Who was at the door?" "It was Bob," she replied. "Oh, great. Did he say anything about the $800 he owes me?" A priest offered a nun a ride. As they drove, the nun crossed her legs, revealing some ankle. The priest, flustered, nearly lost control of the car. Unable to resist temptation, he slid his hand up her leg. The nun calmly said, "Father, remember Psalm 129. Embarrassed, he pulled his hand back. But temptation struck again, and once more the nun reminded him, "Father, remember Psalm 129. When he got home, the priest looked up the verse, "Go forth and seek. Further up, you will find glory." Wait, want to make a difference? For every 1,000 subscribers and likes, I'll donate $100 to a senior in need. Help me help the elderly. Subscribe now. 4 men are in the hospital waiting room because their wives are having babies. A nurse goes up to the first guy and says, "Congratulations, you're the father of twins." "That's odd," answers the man. "I work for the Minnesota Twins." A nurse says to the second guy, "Congratulations, you're the father of triplets." "That's weird," answers the second man. "I work for the 3M company." A nurse tells the third man, "Congratulations, you're the father of quadruplets." "That's strange," he answers. "I work for the Four Seasons Hotel." The last man is groaning and banging his head against the wall. "What's wrong?" the others ask. "I work for 7-Up." A man calls his home and a boy answers. The guy says, "Who is this?" "Hey, Dad, it's me," answers the boy. "Shouldn't you be in school?" The man asks, "Mum said I could stay home because I'm ill." The boy answers, "Where is your mother?" asks the man. The boy says, She's upstairs in bed with the postman. The man is fuming and says to the boy, "Listen very carefully. I need you to do something." "What will I have to do?" The man tells him. "I want you to get my gun from the garage and then come back." The boy puts the phone down. The man hears footsteps, and then the boy comes back. "Now what, Dad?" he asks. "Go upstairs to where your mum is and shoot her and whoever she is with." The man hears footsteps, then 2 gunshots, and the boy comes back. "What do I do with the bodies?" the boy asks. The man says, "Go throw them in the swimming pool." Puzzled, the boy answers, "But we don't have a pool." There's a long pause before the man answers, "Sorry, wrong number." A bloke starts his new job at the zoo and is given 3 tasks. First, he's asked to tidy up the exotic fish pool, which is overrun with weeds. While he's working, a huge fish leaps out and startles him. In his panic, he accidentally knocks the fish into a nearby wheelbarrow. Not wanting to waste it, he decides to take it to the lions, thinking, "Lions will eat anything." Next, he moves on to clean the chimp enclosure. The cheeky chimps are playful and start throwing coconuts at him. While dodging the flying coconuts, he accidentally knocks some over into the same wheelbarrow. Again, he thinks, "Well, the lions won't mind," and wheels them over to the lion enclosure. Finally, he's asked to collect honey from the South American beehives. As he carefully gathers the honey, the buzzing bees surround him. He accidentally tips the honeycomb into the wheelbarrow along with the bees. Thinking of the lions once more, he heads to their area and says, "Here's something sweet for dessert." Later that day, a new lion arrives at the zoo. Curious, he asks another lion, "So what's the food like around here?" The lion grins and says, "Oh, it's fantastic. Today we had fish and chimps with mushy bees." A married couple wakes up one morning, and while still lying in bed, the wife turns to her husband and says, "Maybe you shouldn't go to work today." "What do you mean?" "Why shouldn't I go to work today?" replied the confused husband. "I think you've been working too hard, so maybe instead of going to the office, you should take a few days off, pack a suitcase, and go stay with a friend for a few days away from home." The husband thought for a moment and decided to jump at the suggestion before it disappeared. Within moments, he was up, dressed, and started packing clothes into a bag. "Just out of curiosity," the husband asked while getting ready, "how did you come to the conclusion that I've been working so hard that I need a break?" "You were dreaming about your work all night." The wife answered, "Really? How do you know I was having dreams about work?" "Because every 2 minutes you were shouting your secretary's name." A young man goes into a liquor store and approaches the shop owner. Customer, "Excuse me, can I ask you a question?" Shop owner, "Sure, son, go ahead." Customer, "Why are you selling the Jack Daniels at $30 per bottle?" Shop owner, "And why shouldn't I exactly?" Customer, "But the owner of the shop across the street sells it at $20 per bottle." Shop owner, "Well, if you don't like it, why don't you go and buy there?" Customer, "Well, because right now they don't have any Jack Daniels." "I assure you, young man," said the shop owner, "once I run out of Jack Daniels, I'll be selling it at $15 per bottle." A big bus stops at a roadside eatery. The passengers flood inside the eatery, and as they take their respective seats, the driver calls the manager aside and explains, "Look, sir, we're from the mental asylum down the road. I'm taking the inmates for a ride. When they're done eating, they will insist on paying with bottle caps like they do inside. Please humor them and accept their payments. I'll clear the entire check at the end." So, as each passenger finishes eating and pays with bottle caps, the manager solemnly accepts them. After they were all seated in the bus, the driver approaches the manager, who presents the bill to him. The driver carefully scans the bill. "Excellent. I'm grateful for your cooperation. You don't know how hard it is to handle these people. Now, would you have change for a hubcap?" As Josh strolled along the street, he saw his buddy Michael striding along anxiously with lots of bags in his hands. "Hey, Michael, is everything all right? You seem kind of jumpy." Michael set the bags on the ground and said, "Yeah, I was just now at the state-of-the-art supermarket that they launched in the industrial part of the city." "Oh? What's it like there? I heard it's remarkable." "Kind of," Michael replied. Josh was amazed when Michael described the grocery store with enthusiasm, emphasizing the atmosphere of naturalness and genuineness. You could hear cows mooing and smell the barn in the milk section. In the egg aisle, chickens were cackling and the chicken coop was in the air, and it was even better in the vegetable section. You could literally hear the farmers and smell the fields. "Wow, that sounds incredible," Josh exclaimed. "Well, yes, in principle," said Michael with a grimace. "But this is the last time I'm going there to buy toilet paper." A large corporation hires a tribe of ex-cannibals. As they accept them, they tell them, "You have full rights as employees, but you're not allowed to eat anybody." Things go well for several weeks, and then the CEO calls the tribe into his office and says, "One of the employees has been missing for several days now." This is awkward to ask, but did you eat them? The chief of the tribe checks with his people and says, "No, sir, we have not eaten anybody. We have left that all behind us." The CEO remains unconvinced, but without evidence, there is nothing he can do. He apologizes for the suspicion and sends them back to work. Once they are away from the other employees, the chief turns to his people and asks, "Okay, which one of you idiots did it?" A tribesman sheepishly puts up his hand and admits, "I ate the cleaning lady." Enraged, the chief slaps the man and yells, "You fool! We've been eating department heads, marketing executives, and efficiency consultants for weeks and nobody noticed. Then you had to go and eat someone they'll miss." Quick reminder, every 1,000 subscribers and likes equals $100 to help a senior in need. Hit that subscribe button now and be a part of this.